it was the hardest nursing, I'll be honest, that we've ever done. The shifts were horrendous. We were 4 hours on, 4 hours off. It was exhausting, it was harrowing, and the conditions weren't really fit for purpose. Every swab that we used in the theatre, every pair of rubber gloves had to be recycled. And put through this awful machine, which exploded all the time. We nicknamed it Vesuvius because it was just exploding all the time. But yes, it was totally different nursing. But personally, I didn't really have any moments particularly where I felt that I couldn't cope. However, there were 3 particular times when I was really reduced to tears, and that was always because of the Marines. We'd finished for the day operating, or that period of time for operating, and if we were on 4 hours on, 4 hours off at certain times. Other times we just carried on, depending on what was needed. But on these particular days, we had to go on to Seaview Ward and try to help. And there was a couple of nurses, and when we went on the ward, just to give you sort of a picture, it was very, very silent on the ward. It was a very sad, sight. There was all the chappies there looking, what they'd been through, and their injuries was horrific. And so it was very quiet. We went onto the ward, and one of the chaps, he started to cry because he'd had to have his arm amputated. And then, typical Marine style, with all of this chap in the beds were all very close together, this chap who was in the opposite bed, he suddenly said in a really loud booming voice, he said, "I don't know what you're moaning about, mate." He said, "You've lost your arm." He said, "On my birthday," he said, "I got shot up the arse." And the whole ward, it's the way he said it, the whole ward just started laughing, all the lads laughing. And again, we just stood there and started to cry, because to see that bravery and to see that humour with all that they'd been through and all that they were going through was just, well, it would reduce anybody to tears. And then on another occasion, again, we went on to Seaview Ward, and they had fixed up a television with a video, old-fashioned video, and it just happened to be, The Life of Brian. And at that particular moment, as we went on the ward, the song, and even now it takes me back to that time, it was "Always Look on the Bright Side." I can't sing at all, but "Always look on the bright side of life, diddy, 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 diddy." And the whole ward, all these lovely young men's voices just started singing really loudly to this song. And I think there was about 2 or 3 or 4 of us who were just about to go onto the ward. And I can remember 2 of us just bursting into tears, because again, it was just looking round thinking, these dirty men, who'd been through so much and were in pain, and, just to be singing "Always Look on the Bright Side," it was just moving in the extreme and inspiring, and things I don't think myself personally I will ever forget. I will never forget that bravery, that camaraderie, that, everything.